Jane in London. Good morning, Jane. What would you like to know?
I'd like to ask Keir Starmer why he's not listening to biological women when we say we don't want to share our space with biological men.
Jane, I am listening, and I've long championed women's spaces, biological women's spaces. And Jane, it goes back many years. Before I was a politician, I was the Director of Public Prosecutions between 2008 and 2013.
No, I don't care about all of that. What I care about is you saying that you're going to allow men to identify as women, making GRCs easier, and then they can come into women's spaces.
Yes, we do want to make the process more dignified, but that does not mean...
No, it's not about being dignified. This isn't about being kind or dignified.
Well,
this is about protecting women.
I understand.
You know, why are you putting our dignity on the line for very few people? You need to treat them differently and say, no, you have to have a third space.
Yeah, Jane,
you can't take anything from women.
Jane, when it comes to women's spaces, biological women's spaces, in relation to the particular example I was going to point you to was when I was doing work trying to drive up the protection for women who've been subjected to violence, domestic violence, sexual violence.
But she's not interested in the past.
This is daily. This is toilets, changing rooms. This isn't about what you have done. This is about what we want to be done.
Jane, just hear me out.
We don't care about what you did in the past. We want you to say sex cannot be changed, and you will protect us from men coming into our space.
Jane, we will protect. I have protected in the past and worked with those protecting women's spaces. I will do that in the future. They will be protected. I'm particularly concerned about violence against women and girls and the need for biological for spaces for biological women to be safe. They're the same in sport, the same in hospitals. But Jane,
can you say now that you will not allow men, biological men, under any guise, to come into women's safe spaces?
We will, of course, protect...
Can you say that? Because we shouldn't have to be kind to these very few men. You need to think about 51% of the population who are sick of the absolute twaddle that comes out of your mouth when we ask these questions.
Yeah, Jane, let me just... firstly, we will protect women's spaces. That is my commitment. But just hear me out. There are some people who do not identify with the gender that they are born into. They're often... traumatized by that. There has been a process in place.
Hang on. With respect, Jane, let him on. You've had your say. You said it strongly, and a lot of people will applaud you. It's a divisive issue. Others will not so much. But you've said it exceptionally well. You articulated yourself well. Here's the answer.
Yeah. So, Jane, we will protect women's spaces. And I've been clear about that for a very long time. I know you don't want to hear what I have done, but we will do it in the future as well. But I will also say this. There are a small number, granted, of people who are born into a sex they do not identify with, who are often very traumatized. For 20 years now, we've had a law which allows that to be recognized through a certificate. And I will treat them as I will treat every single person in this country with dignity and respect, and not allow this to become a toxic discussion, because when that happens,
too late.
We end up. This is where we end up with the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Rishi Sunak, making an anti-trans joke in front of the mother of a trans teen. I'm sorry, that is a line we cannot cross.
What do you mean a non-answer?
So you're giving a basic level of respect to a few people who will affect women's rights, rather than giving a basic level of respect.
I'm only cutting. You made that point, and as I say, you made it well.